yeah, it's just a standard. I mean, it's the way we do it. I think a lot of people appreciate the discipline.
Mhm.
So usually during that presentation, I'll call them in and I'll talk for like 2 minutes, and you don't see any kids moving. And the parents are always like extremely impressed with that. So people have all brought up the militaristic. Oh, you guys are militaristic. And I'm like, thank you. That's awesome. Military, very disciplined, and they get a lot of stuff done in a short amount of time. And that's what we're trying to do. So
Team, welcome to another week of Mops and Mo's. And man, are we excited for this one. This is maybe our um, longest time coming episode. We've been working on this one for a long time. Do you want to give some background?
Yeah, I don't even know if we knew we were working on this when we started working on this.
Yeah, we talked about wanting to work on it.
Yeah.
And
So
then it
this
happened.
goes all the way back to like, not necessarily the first time Drew and I met, but actually, yeah, it goes back to the first time we met in person. Because I walked into your office and you had a framed copy of The Soft American by John F. Kennedy.
Mhm.
And so we started talking about that. And if you're talking about The Soft American, which is mandatory reading for anybody who listens to Mops and Mo's, but any interest in the John F. Kennedy Presidential Fitness Challenge will immediately lead you to finding the La Sierra High School PE program. We've mentioned the Motivation Factor documentary on here before. These guys, I think, appear in it, or at least are quoted in it.
Mhm.
But we've posted or discussed the La Sierra program for years at this point.
I think their PE test was in our episode of like hardest PT tests.
It's been in a lot of our content, both social media and podcast. And we've talked about like how cool it would be if like somebody could resurrect a version of this, or like could it be done today, all that kind of stuff. And here's where I like admit a degree of ignorance or lack of follow up, or maybe I wasn't paying close enough attention during the documentary. I don't know. It's only because somebody in our comments section on Instagram tagged these guys that I found out they existed.
Mm. Turns out they're still doing it. And what's cool, and I think this is mentioned in the documentary, they're like OG founder of the program, which I believe was in the 60s.
The Prescott program, I think, started in the early 70s.
That was early 70s, but then
Yep.
he had seen the La Sierra program on like a commercial or something. Went and actually, I believe, like investigated it. That's not the right word, but you know what I mean.
Went to visit La Sierra High School, yeah.
And then brought those principles back to Prescott, and they've been doing it ever since. So on the one hand, it's wild that you can do something like this today, but on the other hand, it's insane to think that like a school out there today just has like a multi-decade generational legacy of a stellar PE program. And I think you'll hear this when we're talking to the guys, but like I mentioned, on the one hand, it's insane to see what some of these kids are doing even today. Cause like when you watch the La Sierra documentary, it's kind of like romanticized. It's black and white. It's sort of vintage, and it's like, you know, bygone era, yesteryear. No, they're still banging out like insane pull. They would crush the AFT.
Yeah.
Like if you can't do a leg tuck, you should be ashamed because the kids at this school are dominating.
We should have explained. We missed an opportunity in this
didn't talk
episode
about
to
the leg tuck.
explain the leg tuck problem to
That's a
them.
great point.
Oh man.
But what I was going to say, I think the other cool thing about it for me was that like the school's culture revolves around this program. So I think all of the things we talk about as being, you know, maybe issues with modern youth, so to speak, these guys, I mean, they deal with some of that, but like you'll hear it in the episode. They also have kids who get permission from their teachers to skip class so they can set like push-up records. And that's pretty cool to think about. So we've both ordered shirts now from this school. We're huge fans. And as longtime lovers of La Sierra High School's PE program, it's awesome to know that there's still some stuff like that out there.
And at this point, I should probably explain who the hell we're talking about.
That's a good point.
We have danced around it a little bit, but our guests for today are Garrett, Beal, and Jason Avalar. They are both PE teachers at Prescott Middle School, which easy mistake to make. You might think is in Prescott, Arizona. It is not. It is in
I thought it
Modesto,
was
California. Drew did
until
think that.
until we talked to them. I thought they were in Arizona.
Yeah, they are in Modesto, California, which conveniently, California is also where the La Sierra program was happening. That was in Carmichael. But Garrett is going on 12 years of teaching, 3 of those at Prescott, where he plans to stay. If I remember correctly from the episode, like 88 people applied to the PE teacher position at Prescott when it opened up and he snagged it. So like uniquely competitive position for a middle school PE teacher.
Mm-hmm.
He's been a high school wrestling coach for 15 years. He currently coaches the Prescott team and then volunteers with the high school his kids attend. He has also coached volleyball, girls golf, and strength and conditioning for high school football. He's a father of 3, 2 girls, 1 stepson. He's a blue belt in jiu-jitsu. And I think we do chat about this on the recorded portion here, but he also briefly left teaching, served with the Modesto Police Department and the Tuolumne County Sheriff's Department before returning to teaching and coaching. Interestingly, he does credit things he learned in law enforcement with helping enhance his physical education stuff. He attended Modesto Junior College, where he wrestled, then transferred to CSU Stanislaus for his bachelor's in kinesiology, later got his master's in education in coaching education and athlete development from Xavier University. And our other guest is Jason. Jason has been a Prescott PE teacher for 13 years. He's a jiu-jitsu brown belt. He was runner-up in 2025 at Master Worlds in the Master 3 Ultra Heavy Purple Belt division in 2025. Hopefully that means something to jiu-jitsu people.
Means he could beat you up.
Yeah, certainly. And you can tell that as soon as you see him on camera.
Mm-hmm.
But he played college football at Modesto Junior College and at University of Mary in Bismarck, North Dakota. He's been married to his wife, Ty, for 8 years. They have a 6-year-old daughter and a 4-year-old son. And he included this, so I'll shout it out. If you want to go check out what he thinks about training school-age kids, he wrote an article for Strong First titled Strong Endurance in Schools to Strengthen Next Generation.
There's actually, I mean, these guys were incredibly forthcoming with pretty much all of their resources. And I'm kind of just scrolling through what they sent us now. So there's a fair few things that I think we can put out in the coming weeks in terms of content. We've got the point charts for the girls and the boys, so you guys can compare yourselves to these middle schoolers. Spoiler alert, they're fitter than you are. Some more interesting stuff like the letter that the parents get to kind of prep them for what their kids are about to do. And then you mentioned all of the, the articles that Jason's written. There's some podcasts that he's been on. So I think that was another interesting thing to find out was like, they've been talking about this for quite a while. Like they share this message far and wide. And what's interesting is that 0 superintendents, I think so far have wanted to replicate or pull this off.
It sounds like there's been some interest, but none that's ever like gone anywhere. I'll tell you, I don't want to let this intro run too long before we dive into it, but you already mentioned the like culture piece of how long it's been going. And we've addressed in previous conversations about La Sierra, it is not the students who do anything that leads to the end of programs like this. It is the parents that complain about it, and that leads to the end of programs like this. But because it's been there for decades at Prescott, these kids have parents, aunts, uncles, cousins who all went through the same program and know the value of it. It's just like ingrained in the culture of that community in a way that makes it like a fixture. Like it's not going away. Like a new administration can come in and be worried about it and think this is crazy. Why do we do this? But like when the whole community is behind it, and that's what tells me like that's where the work has to be done to like reinvigorate something like this nationwide.
For sure. So with all that being said, sit back, enjoy. And when you finish this episode, go find the Motivation Factor documentary.
And follow Prescott Standard on Instagram for all their awesome.
Prescott Standard. Boom.
Just get embarrassed by little kids.
Yeah. Enjoy. This week's episode is brought to you by Teamworks. If you have performance data scattered across apps, spreadsheets, group chats, it means things get missed. Teamworks brings it all together. Training, nutrition, scheduling, communication, all in one platform built for the people responsible for readiness. Learn more today at teamworkstactical.com. I want to start by asking you guys, like, how do you I don't know, maybe this sounds bad like in today's world, right? But like, how do you get approval to do something like this? Like, how do you sustain this type of PE program?
Um, I I think Avalar could probably elaborate after me, but I would imagine. I mean, right now we have the support of our admin, and it's just been it's been the tradition for so long
Yes,
that
they've been doing this 50 years at this point.
it's like
Yeah, it's
yeah,
true.
it's like expected, and we start the year very slow and explain everything to them, and um it's an all for one for all model that we talk is self-improvement, but I think just the reputation has kind of carried itself, and we have the support of who we need support from.
I
Yeah, we
I
don't get
want
a
to
lot of
capture
pushback.
something. Drew has follow-on questions for that. I know he does, but I want to capture something you mentioned before we hit record that I thought was important. You said you left physical education for law enforcement for a while and
I
then
did.
came back to it, and that PE actually feels important at Prescott. I just want to give you a
Yeah,
second to talk about that, because that feels like genuinely
Cool.
a really crucial piece of this conversation.
sure. Yeah, man. Gosh, long story long. Yeah, I got my degree in kinesiology and my master's in coaching education and stuff, and I'm a wrestling coach, and I spent 4 years teaching PE right out the gate, and I don't know, it's like a school, and it sounds like it was kind of normal. It's like kids weren't dressing out, phones were a battle. Um, everyone just wants to walk and just be lazy, and it's a hard battle to fight when I gave kids, I think I gave 5 or 6 Fs that year, and I got asked, "Hey, why are these kids failing?" Like, I'm like, "Dude, I got 150 students. I gave like 5 of them an F," and I was just like, I just felt like it was, there wasn't much, support and
Mm,
everything, and it was a brand new school. I don't want to mention the name, but I didn't feel supported, and I just didn't feel like I was making a difference. Like, I was like, dude, coaching is so much more fun. Like, the kids want to be there. They're working hard. You're getting fulfillment. And then teaching, and I was like, this isn't it. These kids are lazy. They don't want to work, blah, 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 blah. So I left for law enforcement, and I did good. I loved the academy, and, I was on training when I left the first time, and just personal stuff in my personal life, and kind of missing teaching and coaching. I went back to teaching, but I was working alt ed jobs teaching until this one popped up, and then I just had to jump right on it. But
mm.
yeah, I was not sure. I was thinking about going to school counseling. I was like, man, I want to do PE, but like, even the school my stepson's going to go to is right down the street. I drive by those kids that's just on the track. They're just walking. It looks
Yeah,
like the Walking Dead zombies, dude. Like, they're not
that's so
dressed out.
true.
They're just walking and talking. The track is right off the street, and
Mhm.
I'm just like, those teachers are getting paid. Like, it's like good for them, but I need fulfillment, man. Like, I need to
Yeah,
feel like what I'm doing is important. So when this Prescott job popped up, um, I had to jump on it.
that's awesome.
But yeah, no, law enforcement was great. Loved it, proud to do it. Um, at that time in my life, just wasn't for me, and I do feel like I'm more suited to be teaching and coaching too. Yeah.
Sweet.
Jason, how about you? How'd you find your way to Prescott PE?
I taught a few different places. I started like elementary PE. Um, then during the recession and everything, I had to go back to subbing, and then I was coaching football and stuff like that. And really, why I got into teaching is I loved coaching so much.
Mm,
And PE was like fun, but I felt like I made a difference in coaching. Then after a few years, I worked a year in the Bay Area. It just wasn't the right fit. Then Prescott came open. There was, I think, 88 applicants when I applied for the job. Luckily, I had a few friends that went to Prescott stuff, so I was able to get an interview. And God willing, I was able to join. But right away, right when I went to Prescott and joined the team, it was totally different. It was like, wait, man, I get to make a difference every day in
mm.
PE. And a few like dream coaching jobs came up a few years after I came to Prescott, but there was no way I was going to leave Prescott because of that. Is just the support, the community. You guys talked about like support at the beginning. It's like we have a bunch of parents that went through the program. It's like a lot, probably about 25% of our kids, they had their aunt or uncle, a different family member that came through. So it keeps going. It's been very strong. I would say after COVID, it was like a reset. We had a new admin at the district level come in, and all the complaints came in right away because people kind of forgot what Prescott P was about. So there was some issues with that, but us and the team, we dug through, we just dug our heels. But really, a lot of times when the issues came up, the parents started coming like, no, we're not getting rid of this. So not that admin wasn't fully support, they just weren't really sure what it was all about. But I would say through our superintendent and our principals, everybody, our support's amazing. And that's how we keep it going. Earlier this year, I talked to a group of superintendents trying to get this P program to grow. And county superintendent asked, like, do you guys get parental complaints, whatever? And our superintendent's like, no, but like I think 7 years she's been there. She's like, I've gotten very few, the school handles it and PE staff take care of it. And like Garrett said at the beginning too, we do get pushback at the beginning. It's like, well, our kids running a 3 mile, blah, blah, blah. But it's like, we don't run a 3 mile on the first day. We work to that very slowly. But it's, if you work hard and push yourself, you're going to progress and be able to do that. And if you drag your feet or don't want to do it, then obviously it's going to be more of a challenge, just like anything else in life.
So you brought it up anyway, and it's a topic I wanted to dive into at some point in this conversation. As I understand it from both like La Sierra, even when they did it, but like other schools that followed that model, the reason it tended to go away was not complaints from kids. It was complaints from parents who wanted to shelter their kids, protect their kids. They were worried about kids feeling ostracized or embarrassed or whatever it was. I'm curious, you've like alluded to it a little bit, but I want to hear more about how you navigate those early parental concerns, because this is very different than what other schools do. And I think Prescott seems to have been willing to stick to what they know is important and works, despite some of those initial like the concerns, whatever come in early on.
Yeah. Well, you'll notice at our school, the kids' shirts are on and, stuff like that. So
Yeah,
like
that's a
the
good point.
embarrassing stuff, like they don't, they're given the option to shower. They're not forced to shower. But, uh, yeah, we still have the meat and potatoes of the program, like with the point chart and everything, the fitness tests and, the scoring system and, each colored trunk, the standards get harder and everything like that. And then, we still have, not just the colored trunks, but the different color shirts for our PE assistants or the eighth graders that we pick that are like leaders running the warm ups, helping us with testing. And then, we explain it's not just for the colored trunkers because in a class of, 40 kids, you might have, 5 to maybe 10, colored trunkers in that class. So, you have the rest of the class, what's in it for them, right? So, every test we do, there's area for improvement, and on their point chart, they'll show us that hey, I improved on, my mile time by so and so. They show us, we sign off on it, we give them a star. You'll start seeing kids with their shirts, all decked out in stars. We heat press them on at lunch. So, you'll have kids that may not get colored trunks, but, they'll knock minutes off their, long runs. They'll go from not being able to do a push up to being able to do, a bunch of push ups. They have to do 10 every day at the end of class, no matter what. So, we explain, hey, it's not just for, the colored trunks and all that. That's the cherry on top. But this program's really built to be, you need to be your own best version of yourself. Like you need to leave class better than you were at the start. And then over time, you're just, light years better than you were at the beginning of the year. And yeah, I think we're pretty good at hammering that into those kids' heads too.
And to add on that too, it's early in the year, it's just finding success with those kids. So it might be the second time we do a 440 one lap, or we have a yard track, so we call it 440, but really 400. But really just seeing the improvement and just buying into any little bit of improvement. So if a kid can do their warm-up laps at the beginning of the year, then, hey, they get to 1, we usually do 2. And it's like, hey, man, you did 1, get to 2, let's get to 2. So it's like building those little increments of improvement then their self-esteem changes. Then really those problems take care of themselves. The parents see, well, my kid is more disciplined. Well, they're goal oriented. Hey, they're getting good grades in school. A lot of those kids aren't getting good grades in school coming into Prescott. So now it kind of builds that mindset, that growth mindset of like, hey, I can do this. Hey, I am improving. What I love about our program is Garrett was talking about, like with the point chart, they also have a log. So every test they do, they keep a log of it. And a lot of times they're like, why do we have to do this? And they get graded on it. We check it every week. But by the end of the year, you see like this huge improvement. It's like, look, you start off, you're doing a 2-minute 400. Now you're running a 110. Like, but without that, you don't have like a way to measure your success. So yeah, it's great that we have the color trunks, and it's a way for our better athletes to keep giving them goals to work towards. But those other students, it's like, hey, how many stars can you get? And those stars are for improvement. So we have kids that just come in for stars every day. Oh man, I got a star. And it's just like fantastic.
I mean, this seems like, because you mentioned, walking around the track, usually on your cell phone, wearing your normal clothes. And I'm thinking about like the middle school that I grew up going to and the high school, like that happens today. And it sounds like you guys have to be seeing on a daily basis kids that are just like so lit up and like progressing and genuinely moving from point A to point B with whatever series of goals that they're going after. I mean, does the school like does the school credit the PE program for creating just like all around better humans who perform well in class, academically, socially, all those other things?
Yeah, we're
It carries over.
yeah, for sure. I would say
Go
we
on.
run
Yeah.
like the culture of the school in a sense. It's admin leans on us on that a little bit, but like we just naturally do it, and then the program naturally does it. And it's really, we're trying to tie like everything else. It's like, how do you measure growth in math and science, English, everything else? But but yeah, I feel like we're the lifeblood of the school, not to be like cocky or anything like
No,
that, but
that's exactly what I expected was going to happen. I think that's
yeah.
awesome.
And
What's really,
go ahead.
oh,
Yeah.
sorry. I would say what's really cool is like, your athletic kids are like the leaders of the class. And a lot of
Yeah.
times those athletic kids are the popular kids. So, um, you know, they'll lead by example too, just by being themselves. Other kids will want to, copy that. And it does carry itself over. Like you see it at like lunch and break. The kids talk about PE all the time. The teachers will email us, hey, this kid's not doing so good in my class. Can you talk to him? I know he's good in PE. And we'll talk to like, I've talked to a couple like campus supervisors that have been to other junior highs or like substitute teachers big time. They're like, oh my, like the Prescott, they just love coming to Prescott more than like other junior highs because it's like just an easier day for them, whether it's PE or whatever.
We should probably back up and should have done this from the start, but we never do this well. We mentioned you guys have been around for a long, long time. Not the two of you, but the program. Um, can you give us like the history of this program at Prescott? Like, what did that look like?
Give that to Jason.
Yeah. When I first got hired, it was super cool because I was like the second generation. So there was like we had a lady that was teaching there for 34 years, and when I got hired,
Wow.
they actually hired another guy. His name was also named Alex. But we got hired together, and when we got hired, they brought in all the old PE teachers, and they talked about the history and all this. But basically, the founder of our program, Mark Wilson, his first year of starting the program, he saw a commercial on TV about La Sierra. And he went to the school superintendent at the time and was like, hey, I saw this. Can I go? And they're like, yeah. So he went up there, saw that program. Then he came back. Then he ran like kind of like a beta test for a year and a half. Then he just started, just went off and running with it. Then I think when he started, it was just one female.
Hmm.
The girls weren't starting. They didn't start the program until I want to say 1990 or 80, excuse me.
Like in
And
the 80s.
yeah, the girls started in the 80s, but the boys started in the 70s where they were testing
Yeah.
the program. So, but yeah, I started with Mark Wilson, going to La Sierra, then carrying it over, then the PE teachers that came in, Mr. Nomelli, Gary Nomelli. He came from the military. I can't remember what branch, but then he started bringing in like this how they fall in and all that with the military stuff.
Mhm.
So that's why you see a lot more militaristic. He added like that component of it. And then, but a lot of the cool things we do was started by students. So students leading warm-ups. I was started by the students. Like, hey, we want to lead warm-ups. Hey, we want to have different colored shirts so people know we're the leaders and stuff like that. So,
Do you guys? So you mentioned La Sierra, and I know we said before we recorded, like we've referenced La Sierra a lot over the years doing this, mostly because it's just like pretty cool to watch the documentary and see what these people are doing. Do you guys have that same? I'm trying to find their tests. Do you guys have those same standards for those same colors in terms of like you have to do 10 pull-ups to get this, and then you get all the way down to like the most advanced? And I think we even wrote a blog post about this, but like treading water for 2 hours. Are you guys doing that?
So we used to have some of the water
Yeah.
tests. That was before I was there. I guess they
Yeah.
do it to like a local YMCA or something. They do some of these, but so some of those are different. But actually, looking at some of their standards were easier than ours. But the La Sierra model was different. So
Yeah.
Garrett kind of talked about probably about 20 to 30% of our kids eventually earned their next color trunks, where at La Sierra, their model was the opposite. It was like 90 to 95%.
Okay. Can you guys lay that out? Like explain how this works.
The trunk
So
program.
Yeah.
So yeah, everyone starts off with gray colored trunks. They have 0 points towards their trunks. And we have 20 different physical fitness tests that run from a 50-meter dash all the way to a 3-mile to push-ups, bar dips. We have different equipment too, like cable, ladder, which is like monkey bars. We used to have a pull climb that was taken away from us a few years ago. We had to adapt. We made a flex arm hang test. But yeah, 20 different physical fitness tests. You can get up to 4 points on a test. You either get 1, 2, or 0, 1, 2, or 4. Then once you get to 60 points, so you have to get 3, you don't have to be great at everything, but you got to be pretty well-rounded to move up. I've had really fast runners that struggle to get the red trunks because they have no upper body strength, stuff like that. Once they become a red trunk, the tests kind of start all over again. Most of the tests are the same. They just get more challenging. So the times are faster, or, instead of, for example, for a boy, 4 points for push-ups is 40 push-ups. When they get to a red trunker, they got to do 60 to get 4 points. So it goes up. Then when they get to the blue trunks, the tests get extremely hard. It jumps like a whole nother level. So there's
that's where I
kids
would have
that
got stuck.
get to blues pretty quick. Then when they get to golds, they're like, what the heck? I got to do this.
You
It's
got to
like,
do
hey,
like
man.
20 pull-ups and like, what is it, 80 push-ups?
Yeah.
100 push-ups? Yeah.
30 bar dips.
I would have got stuck on the runs. I would have been fine on the
I was gonna say,
strength stuff, but
do you
the
guys
runs are stupid.
what color trunks do you guys get?
I
When
might test next year just for fun. I wanna start from grays and earn my way up just to see.
Okay.
In junior high, if I'm being honest with myself, I would have got stuck at blues.
So
Okay.
this kind of sets
I
up
was hoping-
something I wanted to ask about
Yeah.
really well. I'm sure you guys are tracking the reintroduction of the presidential fitness test. I imagine that will be a thing Prescott does well on here in the next few years.
It's their warm-up, Alex.
Yeah, exactly. A point I've been making a lot. If you look at the scoring standards, the Presidential Fitness Award is for 85th percentile, and they're using a little bit dated data, so who knows if it's actually 80th percentile for kids right now. But for either 8-year-old boys or 10-year-old girls, the mile run time they have to run to earn the Presidential Fitness Award right now this year is faster than we require for infantrymen in the United States Army today. And I think that says a lot about like people not realizing both what kids are capable of and then what like young adults are capable of. I kind of want to frame this by asking you guys, like, what are some like pretty normal expectations you have for middle school age kids on some of these events? And then what are some of the like records you've seen? Because I want to give us a frame of reference for how well these kids are performing.
Gosh, we just had Hafsa last year beat a ton of the running records. Do you remember her times on anything?
So I'm trying to think. I would have to look up some too. Well, we had a girl. So our fastest mile is at the school is 4:55. That was my second year at Prescott. A kid named Alon.
Jeez.
We do an event. It's super cool. It's called the
Super
Super Mile.
mile.
Yeah. So we have these kids. Boys have to run at 6:30 or less to qualify, and girls have to run at 7:30 or less. So they've had to do it. We do this at March right before we go on spring break. And but yeah, we had a boy do the 4:55. But normal years usually our super mile. We have our winners in the boy divisions running 5:30 ish.
Love
Girls are
fives.
running 6:45 ish.
Sixes.
But yeah,
I need people to remember that these are middle school kids.
yeah. I'd have to look. So we had a girl. She broke the county record last year. I have to look real quick. But
As a girl dad, I'm like super pumped that you keep rattling off like high performing females.
oh yeah, no, that's the
Dude, we
thing though.
got
Our
they
girls
kick
kill it,
ass.
man.
I
They
want to
kick
ask,
ass. Yeah.
as you're looking that up, I want to ask you about that because in the military, I mean, we, flexed arm hangs, leg tucks, all these things. There's this assumption, and Alex, jump in at any time because I know this triggers people, but there's this assumption that females can't do it or it's going to be too hard, whatever. You guys have females absolutely crushing it. Can you just like speak to that?
I'm a girl dad too, and my
Yes.
last year coaching high school wrestling, we actually did split the boys and the girls, and I coached the girls.
Nice.
So I'm, I do better with the girls, well, the ones that want to work at least. No, it's once we're in PE, you're not going to see phones at Prescott either. Like once we're in PE, you're not going to see non-dressers either. Like they have to wear loaner clothes that are used loaner clothes. They don't dress out. So all the distractions are gone once they're in PE. And, again, I don't know if it's our PE program that kind of flows over to the rest of the thing, but we got more kids signing up for sports at our school than anywhere else I've ever heard. So, like just the tradition of the program and everything, it's just, I don't know, something in the air. Like kids are motivated by the program, and kids need structure and discipline. And when there is structure and discipline, kids will work. And what I think is special about our PE program now is like, this would be really hard to start. I think it would be a really hard program to start now. But just since it's been going for so long, like I said, it's kind of like just expected when you get to Prescott that you're going to do this PE program. And, when you have good, staff, running it, and you have good morale amongst the kids coming back as eighth graders, kids want to work in it and kids do work in it. So, and yeah, we push the girls just as much as we push the boys. It's they're super into it.
Do you guys have you seen that like this level of physical education buffers against some of what we hear so often in the media with this age group with regards to like online bullying, social media, all the issues there, anxiety, depression? Like, do you guys see any carryover to like preventing any of that type of stuff?
So you don't only not see phones in PE, but like our school in general is very good about keeping that out. Like if you walk around at lunch or at break, you don't see many phones. Like our admin themselves, they'll stand at the front gate and just snatch them up if they need to. Campus security guards, they're out there. And so I'd say on campus, we don't, I mean, I've been at a few schools on campus. I don't see nearly as much issues with cyberbullying and stuff like that here that I did at other schools. I think that's a big reason. Like the whole school's pretty on board. No phones.
Nice.
I don't know about Avalar, but
I mean, we have issues like anywhere else.
yeah,
because kids are going to be kids, and a
yeah,
lot
they
of
do
them too.
stuff after school. Yeah,
I
Yeah,
just imagine a kid that can run a 5:30 mile has a little bit more self-confidence and can navigate life a bit better than somebody who doesn't dress out for PE.
Yeah,
just a
it's never
thought.
those kids that are part of the problem. Looking up, so I looked up some of Anagi's numbers. So last year she ran a 12:27 2 mile.
How old?
I
Eighth
think she was
grader.
13, yeah, or 13,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
Eighth grader.
Soldiers listening to this, I
Yeah.
want you to understand that an
Yeah.
8th grade girl is maxing your 2-mile run.
Dude, props to her, man. Shout out to her.
Yeah.
Well, we had our 8th grade girl just beat the push-ups and the bar dips record this year.
What was what were
Gianna,
the
she
numbers?
did 143 push-ups, and we have a
Whoa.
counter. She has to go down it, her chest has to touch. And then bar dips was, shoot, I tested it too. I want to say it was
I'm gonna
36.
look it up. I'm looking it up right now.
She did
36, yeah, bar dips.
143 push-ups?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
how old?
She's a same 8th grader. I don't know what are they, 14, 13?
Yeah, somewhere like that.
Yeah.
Shout out to those girls, man.
But on that
Yes,
test, you
so-
only have 3 seconds between. It's not like she can get up and take a break. In 3 seconds between, if your knee hits the ground or anything, your test is over. So we had
And
a
then
boy do
bar dips.
over 1,000 last year push-ups. He was doing
He
it
did
for over
every
an
single.
hour.
I'll
It's
show you.
ridiculous.
I'll show you. He did every single one of them like this. He did a perfect push-up, and then he'd like pike up and just shake his arm off real fast, and then just go right back down. Perfect push-ups. It was
1,000 reps.
yeah.
Hold on, before we lose it, I want to take advantage of the fact that you're moving your camera around. What flag is on your ceiling?
Oh gosh. My daughter, my I think she was 5 at the time. She says if you don't work out, you're gonna be so fat.
Yes.
So
Yes.
so I was like, I gotta make that up. She just said it randomly one day, probably because I would say it to the kids. But I was like, I gotta get that on a flag.
Dude, that's like tattoo worthy. I would have that tattooed somewhere.
Right?
If
I
you don't work
know,
out, you're gonna be so
dude.
fat.
But
That's
That was
awesome,
awesome.
man.
yeah, we have a push-up counter that they have to touch their chest. Then Jason and I, for bar dips, we put our fists in their crease of their arms, so they have to go down at the right angle and hit every rep properly. So we'll no rep kids too if they're not hitting their reps to death.
So
that.
you're talking about no repping, you're talking about 2-mile run standards, you're talking about push-up standards. We have already gotten real close to like something I was wondering about, which is the whole like military nature of this to some degree. I've watched a couple videos of your like demonstration they do for the parents, some of that kind of stuff. And I was in the Army. It looks a lot like what we did in the Army. And I know we hear all the time, a common catchphrase in the space I'm in is that like 70% of like recruiting age kids in America are ineligible for service because they're either out of shape, overweight, on medications, whatever it is. I worry that, especially for like the moms of America, saying like, oh, your kid's not going to be available for the next war is probably not the most compelling way to get them to care about their kids' fitness. Has there been any tension around the military look and feel of some of the training sessions?
No, I haven't. Have you felt any of that, Jason? I haven't really.
No, it's just a standard. I mean, it's the way we do it. I think a lot of people appreciate the discipline.
Mhm.
So usually during that presentation, I'll call them in and I'll talk for like 2 minutes, and you don't see any kids moving, and the parents are always like extremely impressed with that. So people have all brought up the militaristic. Oh, you guys are militaristic. And I'm like, thank you. That's awesome. Military, very disciplined, and they get a lot of stuff done in a short amount of time, and that's what we're trying to do. So
It makes
I
warm-up
always
so much
take that
better.
as a compliment. So
Nice.
This week's episode is brought to you by Teamworks. Training, nutrition, scheduling, and communication. One platform, every domain, every role. Teamworks unifies human performance for the service member and the command. Learn more today at teamworkstactical.com. Team, this episode of Mops and Mo's is brought to you by Train Heroic. Train Heroic is a reliable, well-designed platform for programming, tracking, and communicating with athletes. If you've been with us for any length of time, you will know that Train Heroic is the platform that we use to power our own training, long and strong, which you can find at our website, mopsandmos.com. If you're looking for a solid platform to support your own coaching, whether it's your full-time role or a side hustle, Train Heroic is definitely worth checking out. You can use the link in any of our show notes. You can find it in our newsletter, or you can head to our website, mopsandmos.com/training to get your first week for free. You guys mentioned, starting something like this today would be near impossible. Like, how would you? I guess to rephrase, it blows my mind that this doesn't exist in other places, because it seems like it's all positive return on investment. It's like, how would you do this if it didn't already exist since the 1970s?
So
I don't know if it would be impossible, but it would be hard.
Yeah.
And it takes it takes a lot to run it. Like, we do a lot of stuff through, teaching them everything, and, putting up the, we didn't make the point chart. Those existed already, but you'd have to make all the point charts and make all the standards. And, without all the accountability that we have, that would be, I don't know, that'd be pretty hard to start right now, but it could probably be done. It just wouldn't be a easy road.
Have any schools like approached you about trying to copy it?
So a couple parts of that. My ex-coworker, Alex, he actually went to Prescott, and he moved to Texas right after all the COVID stuff went down. His family moved out there. So he went and tried to take this program there. He would be a great person to talk to in the future, but the way he did it is he made it like a elective PE class. Like you had to, so there was like the general PE in Texas that had sports PE for junior high, but then he called it like Fit for Life. So they had like I think they had like a sign a waiver and stuff like that, but then he did it. He ran into some snags and stuff like that, especially with sports PE there, you lose a lot of your athletes. But the way he did the trunk system was he did it based off improvement. So it was based off stars. I don't know how many stars they had to earn to get the next color trunks. But yeah, that's how he did it, and he found some success with that. Unfortunately, he's not teaching PE anymore, not doing that program anymore, so I'm not sure how far it's going. I've talked to people all over the world about our PE program, and about starting and implementing it and stuff like that. I think people get too caught up in the snags. I think the most important thing is you have to have admin on board, and you have to have strong teachers. I think a lot of times teachers are like, because if you see the work we do as teachers compared to a lot of other PE teachers, when you have people walking on the track like The Walking Dead, your job's a lot. It's easier that day, but on a day-to-day, I don't know. I couldn't do that for 30 plus years.
I couldn't either. That's why I left. Like,
yeah. And so we front load, we work extremely hard. We have to stay on top of the points. We give out, we don't give breaks in between. We're handing out stars. We're going out testing kids on pegboard, pull-ups. We obviously have to check the locker room, stuff like that. So we're like doing a lot of work. But if
at the end of the year, we'll come before school and stay after school for kids to test too, and stuff.
But it's like the 3 pillars. I can't remember who talked about it, but 3 pillars of like support. So you have to have teachers, strong admin, and strong parent involvement or strong parent support. If you have 2 of the 3, you can always lean on those 2 to make the third stronger. So if the teachers are lacking, you have admin and parents to get on them. But if the parents aren't on board, if admin and the teachers are on board, and it's like, hey, this is the way it is. This is the way it is. So if you can have 2 of those 3 to start and get people on board, then to see it grow. I mean, I've talked to a lot of people. I don't know how many of them have really went forward with it. I was talking to a teacher from Chicago that had it going like at an elementary level, which is super cool. And he's doing some really cool stuff. But other than that, I think some people, they get into it, but I don't know if they know exactly everything that goes into it too. It's a lot of work.
Before I forget it, because I think it might be something that drives additional new interest in what you guys are doing. Is there a plan yet for Prescott to take the presidential fitness assessment and like figure out where your kids stand and see who gets the award and all that kind of stuff?
Yeah, it hasn't been brought up to us, but I mean, when that comes out, let's go. Come to Prescott.
Awesome. Yeah.
I don't think it's going to bother them too much.
That would amp our kids up pretty good.
Yeah. I will make a commitment right now.
Yeah.
We'll do this off air, post recording and some follow up emails, but like, I do know some of the folks that are working on the implementation of the presidential fitness test. They're rolling it out in military
should hook 'em
schools
up for
specifically first. Like right
sure.
now, it's
Okay.
schools on military bases. But there is nothing to stop other schools from taking it and implementing it. I think they would want to do it, and I think it's a chance to like shine a light on Prescott nationally. So like this
That
is
would be
me
cool to
committing to you guys.
do.
I will connect you with the folks. We will make this happen.
All right, let's
That'd
do
be
it.
awesome to do because like Prescott, it's not like some special school. It's like a normal
Yep.
public school.
Mhm.
Like it's
Exactly.
not like yeah.
The other one I don't want to forget, it was briefly mentioned before we hit the record button when we were talking to Garrett here. The mud obstacle course. Where did that come from? What
Yeah.
is that? Talk to me about it.
It's been going on for a long time, right?
Yeah, honestly, I'm not exactly sure how that all started. I don't know. My guess is probably the kids came up with it, but yeah, we
What
just
is the mud obstacle course?
so
So
go ahead, Garrett.
I was gonna say I know it's pretty old, and this kind of goes back to what we were just talking about. What Jason was saying, actually, you need the 2 or the 3 for, support. And he mentioned we have a lot of parent support, but 2 out of our 3 current admin also went to Prescott when they went to junior high. So,
That's awesome.
we have a ton of support, and I'm almost positive Serato said she did the mud obstacle course. I think it's been around for a long time, like at least 20 or 30 years.
Yeah, easily 20, possibly 30.
Yeah.
I don't know. But yeah, it's a full on obstacle course. So they start off, they do like 50 yards of bear crawls. Then we get set up like these hurdles they got to jump over. Then they run like we have this huge like outdoor space outside. So they have to run like the perimeter of the fields. Then when they run down the side, then there's a mud pit and they have the option to go in it or go around it. So they crawl through the mud. And we have had different variations, but now we have like tires and hurdles around the track and they go around it. So the goal is to try to get through it 3 times to get in the mud. And the third time they do the mud, they do what's called lame dogs. So it's all 4 bear crawls with 1 leg up in the air. They got to do 100 yards of that to finish. So, um, but yeah, the kids love it.
Yeah.
And at the end, we have fire hoses and we get to blast them with fire hoses. And remember the kids that gave us
And then
grief
that's the
all
last
year?
day they dress out. It's like a celebration. They don't have to dress out anymore. It's their, their exit. They're getting
Blast them
jumped out of
with
the
fire
program.
hose. That's awesome.
Yeah. It's fun. I did it last year. It's fun.
How like is it like a Spartan racy experience? Or people like grinding through it, or is it a pretty fast like quick sprint kind of thing?
It's pretty quick.
Okay.
It's what do you like 20 minutes or so?
Yeah, our faster kids are probably getting it done in close to 15
We have to do it
minutes.
each period.
Sure.
So like
And,
each period they have to do it. So yeah, and then we have to give them more time to clean up.
Yeah, after they get fire hose, they got to change back into
Yeah.
school
Yeah,
class.
actually use their shower stuff for the first time. Yeah.
That is awesome. I'm thinking back to like my middle school experience and what gym was, and I think my school probably had it better than most. There were exemptions for sports, so a lot of athletes were like in and out depending on the season of like whether they were in season for their sport. We did have like a rock climbing wall, so there was some cool stuff going on with that, but there was still
that's
plenty
awesome,
of
dude.
like very typical gym dodgeball where like the 5 kids who care really get into it and everybody else kind of lingers in the back.
Mm-hmm.
The stuff where you're sliding around on scooters, once again, like 5 or 10 kids care, everybody else
Oh
lingers.
I
Yeah.
forgot about that.
There you go.
Yeah, it's tough to see because like you guys talked about like how you couldn't do typical PE because there's not enough like passion in it or impact in it to like keep you going for a couple decades. But I was looking up stuff about Prescott and a bunch of videos show up in the results when you search you guys, videos of the demonstration, videos of testing, whatever. But like one I clicked on turned out to not be Prescott. And it was just a video of like an overweight older PE teacher talking about baseball while kids kind of just like stand there and listen to him. And it was just such a reminder of like how lucky your kids are to have such a different experience. I hope they appreciate it is all I'm saying.
They do. Yeah, I can tell. Yeah, it's awesome. Yeah, we have like no downtime. like we have that our downtime is like our sports day kind of, but we we play our sports, but yeah, the testing day, the running day, the weight room day, locker check day, like it's just bam, bam,
Mm.
bam. And every period, it's just you run out to your numbers, you hit your warm ups, we do our, whatever we're doing for the day. There's not a lot of time to just talk about baseball and yeah,
How long is a period these days?
50
it's like
minutes.
50. Yeah.
Wow, that's you guys are moving.
But remember changing time on
Yeah,
the
that's what
front
I was
end and
thinking.
back
Like,
end.
Oh,
Yeah.
the 3 mile, we like just get in, get out, like timer starts in 2 minutes. Like
jeez,
usually they get 5 minutes to dress out. If you forget your PE clothes, they'll get loaner clothes. We don't do loaners. Just get in, get dressed, get out there, and
start running.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
How do you guys deal with like I want to ask how you deal with shame, but from the perspective of kids who see this level of achievement and feel that they can't do it. How do you guys navigate that with as many kids as you're working with?
Shame, like kids feeling shame that they're like out of
Eh,
shape, or
I guess maybe there's just and you guys see it every day, so you know better than me, but I would imagine that there's a certain type of kid who sees a system like this and thinks, I'm gonna crush, like I want to excel. And then there's another type of kid who sees this and thinks, I can't do this. This like I like, and I don't know if they are embarrassed or, shame or whatever. How do you help navigate kids through like a challenging system like this in a world where, quite frankly, they probably haven't had to face many challenges, if that's fair to say?
so yeah. I mean, we have our little motto is all for one for all. So, we pick our, the kids in colored shirts. Those are kids that have applied to be assistants based on, how they are in PE. It doesn't just mean they're athletic, there can be a leader. So, we encourage kids to pick each other up. Like a lot of times on runs, you'll see kids when they're done with their run, they'll go back and help the slower kids. Or those colored shirts, they also help with testing. So,
Mm,
if Jason and I are busy doing something and a kid wants to test, say, the ladder, like those monkey bars, those kids can test other kids too. So I think the peer involvement can help big time with kind of getting those kids out of the shell. Then, as Avalar said earlier, they track everything they do. And I always give the talk to my classes about like, hey, the colored trunks isn't, that's the cherry on top. That's not only what this program's about. It's about, improving on yourself every single day. And they don't have like an option not to log their stuff, by the way. So on locker checks on Wednesdays, they have to fold their clothes in a specific way and everything. And part of that locker check is they have to have their point chart there on their number. So we look, we make sure they logged everything, and you know we give them their points. And if they're missing part of their clothes, or they didn't log, their run or their exercise, or if they're missing anything, they have to do what Jason was saying, all fours, or depending on the time of the year, lame dogs in the grass the next day. So they all log their stuff and they see progression. Like I swear, even the kids that don't try that hard, they still get better because they have to do it. Yeah, if they walk, we give them all fours for walking. If they're just walking and talking with their friends, they get their zeros if they're walking and talking with their friends. So, there's a lot of accountability, but at the same time, they get high praise and high reward for, uh, improving or doing their best. I had I don't want to, say his name, but, big 300-pound kid, one of my favorite kids. I never marked him down because, if he'd walk, it wasn't for a long time.
mhm.
He wouldn't be walking and talking with friends. His times would get better every week. He'd make no excuses. And he'd just an awesome leader. So, I will make an example. Hey, this kid still has an A. Like he may not be able to get colored trunks, or he may not be able to finish a 2 mile run, but look how he responds to adversity, and look how he works through something hard. And then, they'll see him. He's bigger than all the other kids in the class. And I think stuff like that helps a lot too. Just
Mhm.
the kids that are going to do good in the program are going to do good in the program. And of course, we'll go out of our way to help them too. But, also push those kids that are trying, push those kids that might not be gifted, and um, they'll see the benefits of this program, whether it be on their point chart or the stars they earn, or praise from teachers or their peers. So yeah, all for one for all.
I gotta say, I know Drew has like a follow-up question about PE assistants and stuff, but the I went to West Point Military School for college.
Also a great PE program.
We have talked to a lot of people from the PE program at West Point. Your talk about like locker checks and looking at the points for each day and making it all logged is giving me like very direct flashbacks to freshman year physical education stuff at West Point. So like, I hope you know that you're like 8 years ahead of where like a military academy is to prepare kids for serving in the Army.
Yeah, I'll have to send you a picture of. We put a picture out. Should look on our Google Classroom, and then yeah,
That'd
so
be awesome.
know.
Yeah.
I want to ask about the PE assistants, and I know you kind of just gave an overview there, but like, I want to ask specifically from the perspective of what we deal with on the military side, which is to say that like PT is kind of very formally run by non-commissioned officers, and occasionally like he or she who is fittest, quote unquote, gets nominated to be the person who runs that thing. And that doesn't always like that's not always a formula for success. And I think a lot of folks that are now working in that environment are trying to figure out like what right looks like. And it sounds like you guys don't necessarily have folks apply for this because they're the fittest, but because they're sort of the most willing to make a difference. I'm curious what does that process entail? Because I think there's something to learn there on our side of things.
100%. Yeah, you want to go?
So yeah, our students, so it's based off of their 8th grade year. So only students that can apply for it are returning 8th graders. Sometimes we have some exceptions, like if a kid comes in late and they're doing awesome midway through the year, they can apply for it. But they have to write a letter, usually like at least a page long. And it's cool. The kids go all out on these letters, talking about, it's really about leadership. Like, why are you a leader? Why would you be someone that that we would want the people to be an example of? You were talking about shame earlier. One thing that helps with that is our leaders are all different body types, all different races, all different ethnic to social economic backgrounds. The whole gamut. And so it's based off of their 7th grade year. Did you work hard? Did you push yourself? Did you do well in your other classes? Because it's also academic. Like if you're not doing well in your other classes, then you can't be a leader. So it's a leader across the board. You can't be getting in trouble and stuff like that. So it's on basically model citizenship, and it's awesome because a lot of those kids come out like, sometimes we're like, hey man, you're a really hard worker. You need to be a leader. And they're like, oh no, I don't want to be up there because, they're shy or afraid of talking in front of other people and stuff like that. But that's where you see the biggest growth on a lot of these kids, is then taking a leadership role, having to talk, and you see that just grow across the board. I've had kids that are super shy coming in, super weak and not very strong, that, dating girls and stuff the next year, or boys or vice versa or whatever. But they build that confidence. But yeah, it's, but going back more of like, they have to apply for it. We have them lead warm-ups at the beginning of the year and we kind of help them through it. And then we check on them throughout the year. We make sure their grades are staying on. If they get in trouble, they can lose that, their shirt. So it's not like, oh, you're a leader, you're there. It's like I've had people earn it and then do something dumb, get themselves in trouble, then they lose it. But, a lot of times we give them opportunity to earn that back too. It's like, hey, you made the dumb mistake. I'm going to take the shirt from you for a while. But if you show me you can still be a leader in all these other areas, then we'll welcome you back with open arms. So, but yeah, it's basically on citizenship and just basically pushing others and stuff like that. Because what's cool is a lot of these kids came in the same way. They came in scared, wide-eyed, we're running a 3-mile. Oh my God, I've heard about the speed program for years. Then they excelled in it. So it's cool because the kids always have somebody to look, oh, they did it. And then, and then they're there to encourage each other and stuff like that. So
does like the whole town of Prescott, or like, I guess it's not the town of Prescott, but like you're part of Modesto. do they like constantly talk about this? Like, it feels like a thing that like if you're in elementary school, you're always hearing that like you better be ready for like middle school PE,
Yeah.
and then like
Better
all
be
the
ready for
parents,
PE, bro.
like all the
Yeah.
aunts and uncles that already went through it and they're still in town are talking about it. Like, is this like a cultural phenomenon in Modesto?
Yeah. 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 I grew up here.
So
Well, I
sick.
moved here in high school, and I wish I moved here in high school on Rumble Road, where our street our school's on. And yeah, just right when I was in high school, the kids were still talking about the PE program. Like, I had a bunch of friends telling me, "Hey, you'd love the PE program," 'cause my favorite part of wrestling was the fitness part, and stuff like that. But anyways, yeah, like when I go anywhere in this shirt and someone says something to me, like around town, like at church. Oh, they played that video, by the way. I need to show it to you. I talk about being at Prescott, I'm wearing a Prescott shirt, and I had a guy come up to me. Hey, I was a gold trunker. I was like, oh, cool, man, awesome.
So
It's
cool.
all the time, dude. Yeah,
So
it's
cool.
awesome, man. Yeah, everywhere out here. It's
Are
cool.
are you guys like, this is a weird question, but like, so I grew up in strength and conditioning, right? And we're all kind of taught the same thing. And the gold standard is to be in a weight room at a college that wins a lot of football games or work in the NFL. And that, whatever. Are you like, do you guys go to work every day realizing how big of a difference you're making in like kids' lives? Because this is an unreal situation. And the fact that more people don't know about it is insane to me. This has to be the coolest gig of all time.
Yeah. No, I do. Like I've been at this is like 4 schools, and yeah, I definitely feel like this is the biggest difference, I'm making. I can tell even when it's my time at duty. I'm sure I know it's the same with Avalar. We walk out, dude, the kids just warm us and talk to us. It's like, it's no, you can just tell just by how they work. They don't even have to tell you. They're all working. Like, most not all of them, obviously, but you know, enough of them. Most of them do that. Yeah, you can totally tell. It's such a rewarding job. Yeah, I'm so blessed. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oof.
for sure. I mean, one of the records was broken this year. This kid did 6,500 sit-ups. So he started like what 9 a.m. to like
6,500
Yes.
sit-ups?
Wait, 9 a.m. till when?
till like 3, and then he was
After
asking if he
school.
could stay after school. I'm like, you're not staying after school. I'm going home, man.
He broke
But,
it by like 2,000.
What are the
You guys
teachers?
got to start putting time limits on these events, man.
Dude,
It's
what are
getting out of
teachers
control.
like? Oh, I guess he's just not going to math today because he's still doing sit-ups.
They have to get signed off by their teachers. Like, so if they have to plan it, they have to get everything signed off by their teachers and everything. Yeah.
You guys have to be the only school, maybe in the world, where the other teachers are signing off that kids can skip class because they got to go do some insane physical.
Like last year. Sorry, go on.
No, just an insane physical accomplishment like that. No one else is doing that.
I say
Well-
last year when I didn't know Sam was going to do, he just like 500. So this kid that broke the push-up record the first time, or broke 1,000 push-ups, right? He broke it earlier in the year, and he did 500. And he asked if he could break the push-up record. And I looked up at the board, and it's like 250 push-ups was the record at the time. I was like, you could probably do that in a period. And like I said, he was doing his push-ups the way I showed you, and I had to radio for a sub or someone to watch my class the next period because he was in the middle of his test and he just kept going. He got to 505 the first time.
Did you say it's a maximum of 3 seconds between reps?
Mhm.
Yeah. 1,000. Yeah.
God, what? This I want to hear this from both of you guys. What's the wildest achievement you've seen any of these kids accomplish?
I mean, probably.
Yeah.
I mean, that push-up one was pretty crazy because it was 250 before. I mean, he did the 500 and 1,000 was like when he was like, I want to break it. I'm like, dude, you have 500. That 250 one was sitting for a while.
I coached the kid that broke the 251 at Grigori a long time ago.
Yeah, that one stands out for sure. What was the bar dip? What did he do on bar dips? Hold on, let me look
It
at
was
this bar dip.
80, I think.
Well, the record was
No,
80,
so
and when I got there, I was like, okay, that bar dip record's never going to get broken.
I think it was 81. It wasn't anything ridiculous.
Love that.
I think he
Break it
prices
by one.
righted it. Yeah.
That's the
But
move, man.
so the kid that had the 250, I coached him in high school wrestling in like 2012. So that record was that old, little before that, probably 2011, 2012 maybe. And I texted him because I still kept in contact with him. I texted him like, "Hey," he was shocked that he still had the push-up record, by the way. And I was like, "Someone's gonna go for your record." And he was sweating it. He was like, "Oh man," he's like, "Really?" He's he's got to be 25 or 26 now, and he's worried about his junior
His
high
middle school
push-up
push-up
record.
record. Let's go.
Yeah,
I
and
love
then
that.
I texted him. I was like, "Dude, he smoked your record, man!" Like it was the craziest one I've ever seen for sure. Just from like a freaking physiological science ATP and like standpoint, like his body needs to be
500
studied.
push-ups.
I assume he
It
was
was
unable to like
robotic.
consume carbohydrates during that.
Yeah,
No, yeah, no,
there's no
you,
break.
yeah, you can't put your
Unbroken.
knees or hips down. Yeah, I mean, he
500.
piked up and shook one arm out at a time. Almost every. I will try to find the video. I have the video when he broke the 250, and you'll see how perfect his push-ups still were. But it was like same with the kid with the sit-ups, just like a robot the whole way through, just a robot.
That's so sick.
It was insane. Yeah.
I was going to say another student I'd like to give flowers to. So we talked about the trunk program. So after they get their gold trunks, their name goes up on the wall. So we have a Hall of Fame wall in our gym. After years, there was a year, it was long before I was there. Kids were, they get their gold trunks, but they don't have something else to work for. So they're starting to goof off, mess around. So they made up this purple trunk test where the tests are like insanely tough. I think we've only have like 7 total kids that have ever gotten their purple trunks. I'm not exactly sure when that started, probably late 90s. But then, so last year we had a girl, she got her purple trunks in December. And we're like, okay, like, what are we going to do? So we made
Yeah.
up, there was always this rumor, this legend at Prescott that kids can get their custom trunks, but it was a
No
myth.
way.
Like people would talk about it and it was always a myth. Then like this happened. We're like, gosh, we got to make this happen. So we're like going through these tests and like, I don't know. I mean, the purple trunk test
School
was already
records had to
hard.
be broken.
Yeah. So we had to make this custom trunk one like extremely difficult. I would have to pull up the numbers that kids have to get, but this girl, she got it on the very last day of school. She had to break like 5 records or something to even, because some of those tests we had to like just make the markers extremely difficult. I think for like cable. So it's like you're laying upside down on a cable. She did 10 trips for 4 points, but that's like what we had to make it to make the standard like tough enough. And, but she got custom trunks. It was super cool. It was awesome.
What was
She came
her
back this year.
What was her custom color? What'd she go with?
She picked pink.
Hell yeah.
And then we got, so she got a shirt, she got a pink shirt and pink shirts. It looks awesome. It came out really good. So
Will you share the pink short standards with us when you find those? Because I want to blast those out to the U.S. military.
yeah,
and
no, I'll
see.
send you
Yeah.
everything.
That's
Yeah,
so
I share that with everybody. Like seriously, it's like, I'll share my information with anybody. I'm not like trying to hoard it or make money or anything. I want this program to grow. I see the benefits it makes in students. In myself too.
I got to shout out to, so like Hafsa, the girl who got the pink custom trunks, it is like the top post on their social media page. And like the comments are all other kids being like, yeah, like we knew you could get it. Like
Yeah,
King
for
Hafsa, like
You should so they'll do an announcement over school like when it happened, and you could just hear everyone in school clapping and cheering. And we had a kid tunnel, like we made a
a
tunnel
bunch of
for her,
kids
right?
came out.
Yeah. Teachers
Made a
teachers
tunnel.
walked out of their
Yeah.
classes, made a tunnle for hers. Yeah.
What is the longest, like what record has been unbroken for the longest? Is there one, like what's the white elephant?
I saw one that was
One of
like
those short
from the
runs
70s.
is long. Yeah.
Oh, let me look.
One of those shorter runs is from like, yeah.
Let me see. Okay. No, there was a girl one. It was, I'll have to pull up this record board.
While you're pulling that up, do you guys still do these I'm looking at the La Sierra standards and they have this move what is it? Oh my gosh, the
You talking about the little
extension,
land push-up?
the
Yeah.
extension press up.
Oh
Do you
yeah, we
guys?
don't do that.
That is,
Is that like a Superman push-up?
it's the
Yeah.
Jack LaLanne where Superman. That thing is.
Oh, sick. We should
That
do
thing
those.
is hard. The navy blue La Sierra trunks, you had to do 100. I tried to do like 2 of them.
Jeez.
I'm looking at
Couple,
pictures of their
not
board,
100
by the
though.
way, and it has like what year the record was
I
set
say if you
in.
look at our post, our
Mhm.
sit-up kit is one of the posts. You probably see some of them.
Yeah, so there's like one where you can see the men's side, one where you can see the women's side, or boys and
Yeah.
girls side rather. High jump, it looks like a girl in 1987 tied
Okay.
the record that's still there from 1974.
Yeah.
What is it?
It's a
Yeah.
5-foot high jump.
5 foot high. Is that like a running kind of Olympic high jump or?
It's like a
Yeah, it's the one
Fosbury
you see in the
flop, right?
Olympics. Yeah, it's track.
Okay.
yeah.
track and
Yeah,
field.
Fosbury flop style.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The boy went to I went to high school with the boy that has the high jump record.
I'm going to pull up the boys side. I can't see all of it because like some of these are covered up because the kid's standing in front of his record that he just earned. But there's several records on the boys
wanna
side
say
that are
his
from
is, like-
1985.
Yeah, the standing
I
long
want to
jump.
say his is 5'6" or 5'7".
There's a kid in 1985 ran a 1646 3 mile. Same kid
Jeez.
ran a 1029 2 mile.
Yeah,
Still
I guess
has that record.
that was before I was there. I guess that kid kept trying to go for the mile record, and he was always like a few seconds off.
Yeah.
Just not well
Talking to
balanced.
older PE
Different kid in
teachers.
1985, 9 foot 2 1/4 on standing long jump.
Dang.
Yeah, that's like the
legit.
NFL
Yeah.
style
Yeah,
that's
broad
a fun
jump
one.
that they do at the combine. That's the way we do
There's a video of me doing that on one of those posts.
For
I'm one of
middle
those short white
schoolers,
guys that can touch the rim, by the way.
Hell yeah.
Maybe not now, but
these are stout numbers for middle schoolers.
Dude, those are stout numbers for people.
Yeah.
dude, yeah.
Much less middle schooler. Like that's wild.
Yeah, girls 2 mile is 1227.
Yeah, share. So if you guys, I was going to ask you off air, but I'll do it on air to hold us accountable. Can you like share your standards and some of your records? Because I want to literally, we'll put this out to like the military, and I just want to see how inflamed people get. Like, oh, no way.
Yeah,
for
the
sure.
push-up ones, yeah.
I mean, you held them to the standard. Okay, before we let you guys go, we have had to change our closing questions because I think we found out that most folks want a kettlebell on a deserted island. The question was, what would you want on a deserted island? Kettlebell is the answer for most people. So for you guys, I want 2 answers from each of you. Favorite upper body exercise, favorite lower body exercise. And you guys can decide who goes first.
Ooh, you got one? You got 2?
I would say pull-ups upper body.
Solid. A
And,
classic.
Good.
Yeah.
It's a wise answer.
Gosh, lower body, I like lunges, probably. That's what I do a lot. I have a kettlebell as well, so goblet squats.
Nice. Garrett?
Yeah, I'm not fancy. I'm weighted pull-ups would be mine. I that's like
It's
bread and butter right
in
there.
my book, that is the answer for upper body.
That's the ball knower. That's the ball knower answer. You know, some folks throw out bench press or whatever. So come on,
right.
you don't get.
So I tell the click because I'll do pull-ups just for fun out there. Like that's my thing, and I never do more than like 10 or 12 pull-ups. Like once I get to 10 or 12, I start throwing weight on and just go heavier and heavier. And the kids they ask me, how many pull-ups can you do this year? I was like, oh, like probably 20, 25. I PR'd. I got 35 pull-ups. And
Nice.
I was like, I didn't even know I could do that many pull-ups. Like, I don't do more than 10. Like, it's weighted pull-ups. That's the reason I could do so many pull-ups.
There you go.
It's, progressive overload, man. But, yeah, weighted pull-ups, legs, just probably front squats. Front squats.
Okay.
Squats.
These are good answers. These are high quality answers.
It tells you a little bit about a person, what they pick.
That's what we're finding. I think we've been pleasantly
Yeah.
surprised by the niche, well-represented answers that we've gotten from folks. Weighted pull-ups, I think, is definitely the runaway winner at the moment.
Yeah.
And dips. Just, yeah.
We did. I think you guys will appreciate this because, like I said, we used to ask, if you were on a desert island, you had one piece of exercise equipment, what would it be? Most people say kettlebell.
I would have said kettlebell probably.
Well, we had one
Yeah.
gentleman, and I won't name him because he's quite important. But Alex knows where this is going. He said incline bench.
Shake weight. Oh,
No, honestly, shake weight might have been a better answer. Incline bench. It's like, okay, cool. Hey, man, whatever works.
yeah.
And we had one lady say axe, which I think was a pretty interesting one too. So, but before we let you guys go, and we'll put all this into the show notes, but you mentioned wanting to share this far and wide. Like, what is the best way for people to learn about this, reach out to you guys? What does that look like?
We need to do better about our Instagram.
The Instagram's pretty good.
yourself.
I got to shout out. They've got a video that's like their top performing one of just like a bunch of girls knocking out a crazy number of pull-ups. It's good stuff, guys.
Yeah,
We should do our good wrestling and grappling demo. We should make a good video for that too.
Is that the answer then? Prescott Standard Instagram is where to find you guys?
Yeah, you can always email us. Me, J Avalar at stanunion.k12.ca.us is super long.
Hey, you offered up. We'll put it in the show notes.
We'll put it in the show notes, man.
Yeah.
I'll send you information with a bunch of stuff too. I have like a resource page, like it has like everything. It has like a bunch of information, podcasts, all the different testing standards, all that stuff. So it's welcome to everybody.
Awesome. Well, hey guys, thank you for hanging out with us. This has been. I want to go do push-ups now. I feel really bad about myself.
Here we go. Thanks for having us. That was fun, man. Love spreading it. Yeah,
for sure. Team, welcome to the after party. Before we just hit record, we were both like hardcore fanboying on what you just heard. This probably sounds extreme, over the top, hyperbolic, maybe just because it's fresh. We just talked to those guys, but like, you talk about the type of thing that could legitimately move the needle with regard to all the issues we're talking about with kids these days: obesity, anxiety, lack of physical performance, blah, 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 blah. They have kids doing like 500 push-ups, man. Like, what the hell?
Drew, do you see a future where Bryson DeChambeau visits Prescott Middle School to check out what they got going on for the President's Council?
Bryson would be all over that.
Dude, like, I am going to get this presented to the council. Like, I will. That is my commitment here, is that the President's Council will learn of what is happening at Prescott Middle School.
It's just wild. So I guess, and we probably will have mentioned some of this in the introduction, but we've talked about the La Sierra High School thing now for years. Motivation Factor is the name of the documentary. Again, I'm going to make sure I say that in the intro as well, but regardless, I hadn't seen that in years, and I forgot that Prescott is actually mentioned in it. Mm-hmm. But it's such a niche documentary in the first place. Like, I don't think you can really find it anywhere.
It's not like on streaming services. Right. You have to go like pay $5 on whatever website.
You have to want to see it, which in and of itself is kind of sad. But again, it just blows my mind that this isn't. I wanted to ask him this, but it's kind of a hard question to ask. Like, bring any school administrator in and give me like 2 reasons why this wouldn't be a value add. So like, oh, okay, so some parents might get their feelings hurt at first because the kids are running. Like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Versus the upside, which is all of the things we just talked about. It again, none of this is to even mention like, hey, U.S. military, like, pay attention to what's going on here, because these kids are cranking out. What was the pull-ups? You said the girl with the highest performing Instagram post. Like, how many pull-ups did she do?
Oh, it's not even like a count. It's just like a video of like 4 or 5 girls cranking out pull-ups.
Crushing pull-ups.
No problem.
Middle school. Girls cranking out pull-ups.
I'm going to see if I can find, I'm going to try and find a picture of the record board where I can see the pull-ups.
And we can't do
girls.
Leg tucks?
Bridget Fortino in 1991.
Bridget
knocked out 30 pull-ups.
30 pull-ups. And to be clear, you guys, if you didn't watch the like video version of this, you should, because they displayed to us what the standards were. Like, they don't just let these kids go off and do this and self-report. Like,
throwing it out there, in 2000, Andrew Carmichael set the boys pull-up record of 31. So there's only a 1 rep difference between the boys and girls pull-up record.
I mean, what are we doing?
This picture is of Mohammed Abdul Razimi or Abdul Rahimazi, I think. I'm butchering that, I'm sure.
Shout out
Who
Mohammed.
this is clearly the kid who got a pass from other classes so he could just do sit-ups all day without break because he did 6,500 sit-ups.
Like, and I just like I didn't want to fanboy too hard, but we need to unpack that, right? Like, how many sit-ups was it?
6,500.
6,500. So there's that. That in and of itself is wild.
These guys do have to set time limits on
But
some
that's
of these
what
events,
I wanted to point out. Like, let's acknowledge that within the like muck and mire that is the modern physical fitness landscape, there exists a middle school in which not only is the PE program badass, but the entire staff support it to the point that they're willing to let this kid skip class so he can do 6,500 sit-ups. And then when he does, they announce it over the loudspeaker. Everyone claps. Like, this is like fake documentary type shit. But no,
it's really cool
it
stuff.
exists in California. If you think we're fired up, we are. I want to go and change everything about H2F now, based on what I just heard from Prescott. Any other closing thoughts?
I'm just still I've been hype over La Sierra PE type stuff for a long time, and it's crazy that it took until like a few weeks ago for me to find out that there's a school that's just been doing it since the 70s.
Doing it, dude, since the 70s, because they were willing to try. And that's the thing. I think the takeaway for me was that instead of lowering the standard of the physical education program, or in some cases getting rid of it because we're afraid of what might happen, they've actually raised the standard, displayed the standard, encouraged kids to blow past the standard. And lo and behold, the kids are blowing past the standard, and they continue. So much so that they had to develop pink trunks because some girl decided that it wasn't hard enough for her. So shout out her. What was her name?
Let me scroll all the way back up to the top. Her name is Hafsa.
Hafsa, I'm going to close with this. You're a badass. I hope you crush life. And for the rest of you guys listening, not the kids, but those of you who, get upset about leg tucks, be better. We'll see you guys next week. Guys, let's be honest. There's too many apps. There's too many group chats, and there's too much noise. Teamworks gives your unit one place for news, events, and resources so nothing important gets missed. If you want to learn more, visit teamworkstactical.com today.
Hey, Alex, let's cover our ass real quick.
Oh, great idea, Drew. All right, guys. The views and opinions expressed in this program are those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of any entities they represent.
Thanks for tuning into this week's episode. Before you go, please rate and review the pod on the listening platform of your choice. You can also visit us on our website at www.mopsinmos.com. That's mops, the letter N, mos.com. You can check out the library of podcast episodes, our latest blog entries, any helpful resources, and also sign up for our newsletter.
Drew nailed it. Just to underline a couple of things, the podcast entries have in-depth show notes on the website. So if you missed anything or you want to read any of the research we talk about, it is all there. You can, at the bottom of the website, sign up with your email and receive future updates from us. The blog posts go a little bit more in depth in kind of written form on a couple of topics we get questions about all the time. But most importantly, I just want to ask all you guys, our best way the word gets out is absolutely word of mouth. So tell your friends, tell the people you work with, anybody you think would find it useful. Thanks for spreading the word.
If you have any questions or comments, feel free to shoot us an email at either Drew or Alex at mopsinmos.com.
Or there's a contact form on the website.
Thank you.